Here we are, the 11th of February, colder than all get out. And we were just here yesterday and shoveled the driveway out. And the snowpack is 8 to 10 inches deep. And what you're looking at is our first shed antler of the year. As you've seen in the last video, the deer were walking this edge quite extensively, and they really walked it again last night. And it was to my amaze. Like I say, I walked down through here yesterday, and there wasn't near as many track. And I no sooner got out of the van, and lo and behold, there's an antler laying right there. My first shed antler of the season. And that just shed last night because it wasn't here yesterday at 3 o'clock. There it is. Fresh blood on it. See the fresh red. Amazing. First human hand. Oh boy, I know that deer. What a reward. It was cold, cold, cold. And I come down here to cut some trees down. And I'm going to cut the tree down. Little did I know I was going to find this shed antler. First one of 2021. Yeah, these deer were in here last night, really hot and heavy, browsing on that new browse. To give you an idea how deep those snow is in the beds. That's all taller than my boot. And boy, there's been a bunch of bedding going on up here. I didn't want to get after that antler, but I thought it was on a main trail, so I thought I'd just walk the main trail. And as visible as that one was sticking up out of there, just hoping to get lucky. But I don't want to get too aggressive because that snow is pretty deep. And I was just fortunate that that one fell off, sticking up. This is where our planting of our corn really came into play. You see that trail really hammered. And I just thought I'd walk out here, take a look-see before this real cold weather. Sub-zeros, that's still going to be below zero when it's high. So I thought it would be worth coming up here for a quick observation to see what kind of population of corn we got. I don't like coming out in this cold weather because there's no need to bump the deer. They take off running. They're just exerting more calories. And that's the last thing you want. So if you got an area, you want to make sure that you don't ride your four-wheeler and your worthless snow machine around out in the wild going 100 miles an hour like a wild man, because you bump those deer at this kind of temperatures and you're being damn right harmful to them, because it's just they burn up too many calories trying to get away from snowmobilers and domesticated dogs that got a warm place to sleep at night and full belly. You can tell they've been up in here. And I want to get over here because this was the good corn stand, but boy, they've really gotten with the program since the last time I was here. And that's what this corn's for. There's still corn here, but you know, it's not going to last forever. But just taking a quick look about. Yeah, we still got some pretty good corn. You can see they've been in here. That's what they're supposed to be. And lots of tracks finally on this end. Prior to that, there was basically no track in here. But they have been in here immensely. That's for sure. And with this cold weather, it's not going to take too long for them to completely wipe this 4 acres of corn out. Roughly 4, maybe 5, but between the coon predation and deer, that cold weather really puts a hamper on it. Now over in here, thank God I still got a lot of good corn, which is a blessing, because that's what I'm going to need here Valentine's Day Sunday, and it's supposed to be like 14 below zero, and you're going to have a lot of foraging going on. Plus in this cornfield, it breaks the wind, and the corn itself actually draws some heat to it, the stalk. And like I said, it's really nice to have genetics now with this corn that stands throughout the entire winter. But yeah, we still, it's been a lot of grazing, but yet we got corn. It looks like, well, we'll have as much as we got, and that's one we had. So that's I'm glad to see that. But keep in mind, I'm trying to stress, if you're going to plant corn, you've got to plant a lot of it, because it will be completely consumed in no time at all if you do not go the extra mile with the bushels per acre. Because when they move in on it, this whole row is still here, same over here. So we still got a good population. Why am I doing this? It's out here, it's going to get really cold. I'm just trying to show you the amount of effort that you have to put in. Because if you do the minimum, you're never going to keep deer on your property, regardless. I don't care who you are, because that's the nature of the beast. But you got to plant a lot of late season food. And here in Iowa, you can't go wrong with corn, no matter what the so-called low staff people say. That's because they're too cheap to go the extra mile. That's my opinion, and I'll stick with it. So anyhow, there's what you see sticking up there. The birds can get that too while it's up there like that. Well, I better get out of here, because like I said, I don't want to stir up the wildlife. They're under enough stress. But we on the 11th of, this is the 11th of February, and we still got quite a few ears of corn, but they're going to be really hammered here in the next few days, because that's, you know, when that temperature drops below at zero, they'll hold up, but when they come out, they're gonna feed up heavy and try to lay down through that real extreme cold. Yeah, I gotta be fair with this video. There you go. The turnips, they're still pawing through that snow on the 11th of February, eating those Whitetail Institute turnips. So, yeah, quite a variety. And like I said, there digging it out, chewing the tops off. Still in February, way past late season. But I'd better show you that. Or if you want something that's credible. In the snowpack, that's pretty good that those deer would pull that out of there. As you notice, we're on a main trail in this cornfield. And I don't know how they do it, but they glean it off. And I've showed you this before, but you can't never get enough info. They're tracking on this main trail, clear down to where we started at, where the corn was. And they're coming out of the timber, and they're all trailed up on this trail. And the reason I selected to use this, I figured, well, with that much activity, buck walking on it might antler drop off on the main trail. But this corn here is completely, I mean, there's nothing here. You can see the stalks and everything. And we're about a quarter of the way into the field. And they selectively graze that to where they start at one end and work their way to the other, and that's how this trail, profound trail, got here. And there's nothing in here because they gleaned it off, which is pretty cool in a way that they would do that. Well, I almost thought that was an antler, but it was just a corn cob. That's why I don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing that. But all this corn in here has been devoured, and that's what it was there for. But like I said, we ain't halfway through the field, the length of it, and we're following that trail, sort of like the grazing trail, I'd say. They grazed their way from one end to the other, and all we have to do, this is sort of funny, all we have to do is step over one row, and, well, there's corn. Just one row over, it's still got a lot of full ears, and we're not halfway through the field yet. So, oh, just interesting, but thank God, I'm really glad that there's still plenty of forage with this weather pattern coming. You know, we cut the trees down today and found one shed, and that's pretty good. There's a cob that's been knocked down. But the thing about corn is you got to find a lot of it, and and the other thing about it that I keep emphasizing, see how high it is from the ground up? That's almost chest high. That keeps they don't have to pull it out of the ground. All we got to do is selective come by and selective eat it at head high. So that's one good thing about it. It's huffing and a puffing. Every time you take a step, you sink down about 6 inches in that soft froze snow. And well, we'll get on down here. Well, walking through this cornfield. Look what we found. They jumped the fence right there. Must have jumped the fence. That's a common scenario. And first human hand. He's down in there. Oh man, he got some red on him too. Wow, what's the odds of that? Nice 8-pointer. Well, I didn't even come to look for sheds today, but they're falling. But how lucky was I to find that in that cornfield? That's nothing but pure luck. You see where the coons and the squirrels take shelter, they get underneath of there and they consume that corn also. I'm glad they didn't get this antler. Oh boy, I didn't need that. Well, that's it from the food plot observation, and like I said, the first set out.